Hello.
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 Let's go!
Hey, kids.
Hey, Dad.
War crimes will be prosecuted.
Let's head out of Liberty City. Burn it to the ground.
Does the word mean anything to you?
Yeah, I chose this profession, so therefore I earn beer.
You want to go to the matinee?
The feeling is definitely there.
You don't know my name!
It's a new morning in America.
This is the old dude, Howard J. Reynolds.
Step into my office.
Not going to be too many punks.
Don't you stop worrying about the punk?
You! That's my name!
Yeah, let's go to the punk rock show.
Introducing, for your listening pleasure,
Here it is. Here we go. Episode 81 of the High Fives podcast. Michael.
That's my name.
That's your name. Don't wear it out. How are you?
I'm doing well. And yourself, Nathan?
You know, living.
Yeah.
Doing the things. Getting up every day. Doing the things. Going to bed.
Sounds swell.
Wash. Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Did you say you wash
81?
yourself?
Well, I was going to say wash, rinse, repeat.
Oh, okay.
But I think I got cut off at washed myself, which is a weird thing to share, but nonetheless.
Nathan, I also wash myself. I think most people do. It's okay.
Episode 81 is the single life.
Single life, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I named it. What did you name it?
Singles night, but
Singles night. Oh, that's nice.
Single
too.
life works better.
What were you thinking? Like speed dating? Was that kind of where your brain was taking you?
Speed dating.
Did you think there would be more than just me here tonight?
Well, that's why I showered.
So the singles life is just, or what did you call it? Singles night?
But singles life works.
Okay, either or, whatever you prefer. You choose your own adventure in the title of this podcast. Episode 81. It's about singles. It's the top 5 singles.
Yeah, I mean that's a loaded question. So,
well, it's not a question. It's a
topic.
statement. First of all.
Wow.
It's going to go like that, Mike.
I see. But okay, it's a loaded statement because, like, what defines a single to you, Nathan?
Well, there are a multitude of definitions. So, as I remember it, you know, when we were young children discovering music, you know, a single was typically, you know, it was one song. Yes, there were the cassettes and CDs and 7-inches that would have 2 songs on what was called a single. But, you know, in terms of like radio play, you had just typically the one or a multitude of singles that would come out to hype an album, right? But now the landscape has changed, and this drives me crazy because it's not you or I making that change. It's iTunes deciding on what we now call a single.
You think, okay, well,
doesn't that bug you?
No, because I don't think it's much different than releasing a cassingle or anything like that. So I don't know if it's necessarily iTunes. I just think it's the like nature of the industry now is that like bands have to keep in the public eye, so they keep releasing songs quickly. So you can't let your like fan base permeate. You have to be like keep stuff coming. So bands release songs and say, "Is there a single?"
But let's call it just one, like that song is just a single. Let's not do 3 songs on this little release and call that a single. I don't like that.
That's where the borderline is. I say 2.
It's
I
too
say
many.
2 at max because like
2 at max. That's a side A. That's a side B. But this is my point. iTunes, or I mean, I can't say that they did it, but I'm pretty sure it was them.
I think you're just mad about your iPod still.
They decided that no. Now in the digital landscape, we're going to say you can have up to 3 songs or under 10 minutes, and that constitutes a single. And that makes no sense to me because you think of the progression of music and how we accessed music through the LP, the CD, the cassette, and now into digital. And like, it's always been, you know, let's call it a side A and a side B. even if you're not flipping a CD from side A to side B. Like we were still happy with 2 songs max, but now they decided that they're going to do 3. And I don't like it, Mike. I don't like it.
What if third song is like a remix?
No, definitely not.
Okay, I get it. I mean, I think sometimes 3 songs existed on singles and CDs and 7 inches and stuff like that. I would call that an EP personally.
Agreed. I would call that an EP too. But an EP, according to the new digital landscape, is a different
Did you
designation.
look this all up?
Yes.
You seem to know a lot about this.
I came armed, Mike.
It's impressive.
I came armed.
So, okay.
Thanks.
I get what you're saying. I still in my head would only consider 1 to 2 songs a single. My question is, do you like the single like how back in the day it was released pre-album as like wet your lips sort of thing for the album? Or do you like a single like nowadays where a single is just its own thing?
That's a great question, Mike. And it's something we've talked about before. I don't like to listen to the songs before the albums, and I have a lot of reasons for that. And I'm not going to go into it. It's a long it's long but thought out. I don't like hearing the stuff before the album, but I really do like a single that is a lone wolf, that lives on its own, that exists with no one else. It's just its own thing. It doesn't get put on an album down the road. It's just a single. I like that. I can get behind that, especially in the way that we consume music now. But so few times does that actually happen. Most times they are that precursor to an album. And nowadays it's like bands put out the entire album via singles before the album even drops, which drives me crazy too.
That drives me insane, actually. And I get why it's done though now, because again, I think you just have to keep things going all the time. I think that's the way you stay relevant, right? Like if you disappear for like a couple years, it's hard to stay relevant. So for example, I know we've talked about this before, and it's no knock on the band, but like a band like Masked Intruder, we're like, are they still a band? Are they not? But they could release an album and I would not know about it maybe, but if they kept releasing like a few songs here or there, a trickle, I think that's how you stay relevant in an age where there's so much like to consume. No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I think that's the reason for it. I also hate it. I'm like, why, if you're getting to releasing 5 songs on an album, then just release that as an EP or release the album ready. Like I don't get why labels hold on to albums for like let's say an album's been recorded and you're releasing like 2, 3, 4, 5 singles. Just by the 3rd one, you should be releasing the album. If you have it all recorded. If you don't have it recorded, I can get behind the like slow release thing. Like, and that's just like you're just releasing songs, and because you can nowadays.
Yeah.
So that I'm okay with, but I hate that like 5, 6. Sometimes there's like 6 or 7 songs, and you're like, oh, okay, so there's what, like 1 more song on the album, 2 more? Thanks.
Right. Well, and then the album just becomes irrelevant, right? And like chances are those last 3 songs aren't great. You know, there's a reason that you left them off the single launch.
And I mean, I do get putting out like a single that hypes the album, because I mean, this day and age, we don't really have radio or video as much, as it's not as relevant. So you do get that get someone's appetite going kind of thing for an album. So I do get that. But again, 1 or 2, that's it. Then release the album. Don't make people fucking wait. Don't slow release. It's lame.
Slow release. Yeah. Don't do it. This has been a High Fives PSA.
Speaking of lame, this is a good segue into a funny story. I'm not sure if people know or not, but we do have T-shirts and stuff like that, and they're nothing spectacular. We do it through TeePublic and whatever. We make like $1 or something, or maybe 50 cents.
They're pretty good, Mike.
But we got a cease and desist the other day.
Oh, amazing.
I know, I laughed pretty hard. But here's the thing. So on a bunch of the T-shirts, I've done like some funny stuff with like old TV shows and whatnot. So you think it'd be for that. No, you know what we got the cease and desist for? Come get gnarly. A skate company says that's their trademark. Come get gnarly. I was like, fuck you guys.
No.
Like, come get gnarly. Any fucking loser can say come get gnarly. That's... I was so pissed. I was like,
Wow.
normally I don't give a shit anyway, but it's just like, what the fuck? What lame skateboard company came and looked through this and like, oh yeah, these guys are trying to rip my skateboarding company off because they wrote "come get gnarly" on a t-shirt.
Are you prepared to state the skateboard company for the record?
I think their skateboard company's called Gnarly Skateboards or something like that.
Never heard of them.
Exactly.
That's
I'm gonna make so many "come
amazing.
get gnarly" t-shirts now.
That's insane. Dude, I was having a conversation the other day because have you seen those new NoFX t-shirts?
No, I haven't.
So it's got Tom DeLonge on it, Travis Barker, Mark Hoppus, and Matt Skiba.
Amazing.
On it. And then it just says NoFX.
I would get that actually, and I've never bought NoFX merch in my life.
I love it. I love the idea. But I was having a conversation and we were talking about would Blink-182 be like upset with that? And
I don't
like,
think so.
I don't know. I don't know if they would, but if they did get upset, like think of the upheaval within the punk rock world that would create, right? Like if you did, you would have a problem with it for about 5 seconds before the internet turned on you.
Blink is what it is, but I don't think those guys they're still sort of rooted in like punk rock and punk rock ethos. So I don't see them being dicks about it. They'd probably be stoked that NoFX did something like that.
It's really the same thing as Come Get Gnarly. I mean, it's apples
you never
and
know.
apples, Mike.
Well, now that we said gnarly on here, I don't know, maybe we're fucking breaking trademarks. Like, what do we sell? Like one t-shirt every like 4 or 5 months? Big fucking deal. I'm sorry.
I don't know. You keep all that t-shirt money. I've never seen the t-shirt money.
It's going. I'm living large.
You know what I think would fit right now?
What, Nathan?
For me to tell you what I've been listening to.
God damn, that's a good segue.
I think 4 out of the 4 things that I brought to the table are Moke suggestions.
Ooh, flattering.
So it is flattering. Great choices, Mike. Great recommendations. There may be some crossover this time around. So like I almost want to let you go first, but it's just almost. I don't really want to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Don't mess with the format.
No, we got to follow the format. My first choice is a band that has been around since 98, but this EP is my first exposure to them. They're on Wiretap Records, which to me is a little bit strange for a ska punk band. The band's codename Rocky. The EP's called Blueprint. That caused you any surprise to see them on Wiretap?
Not overly. It surprised me that they're around and that they reformed or whatever, because they were I believe they were on, no, they weren't even on Drive Thru Records. For some reason, I associate them with Drive Thru Records, but
okay.
So I don't know. They had a mini following, I guess. So.
Well, did you follow them like back in those days?
Yeah, I really liked one of their CDs. I actually saw them in California randomly.
Oh. So brief history for those of you that didn't follow them since 98 and saw them in California. They broke up in 2005. That breakup lasted till 2012. And then funny enough, they released a single in 2012.
Topical.
And that inspired, very. And that inspired them to get back together. So they did. And this is their latest offering. The EP is called Blueprint. It's just fun, sing-along, ska punk. The horns like remind me of Less Than Jake, but like some of the music reminds me of Link 80. I don't know if you got that from this, but like not a lot of bands sound like Link 80 or have that like influence kind of come through. And this EP had a little bit of that for me.
Yeah, I see it on the EP. They definitely got like more punk, quote unquote punk on this EP as opposed to what they used to put out. Their other stuff was a little bit more very of the late 90s ska kind of thing.
Okay.
Like they always reminded me of Pharmaceutical Bandits, but with more of like you said, like I see the Less Than Jake thing, but
yeah,
they were always really like there's a clean sound to them, and it never sounded like it's, even though like it never sounded goofy or anything like that, even though it was of that time. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like some of the stuff
Yeah,
from that late 90s has a goofy little thing to it.
It wasn't fart in your fedora day.
No.
No.
Wow, you're gonna insult all the ska people. We had Aaron on here, and he told us
Dude.
that that's the worst thing we can do.
But there are those bands.
Yes,
It's not.
I
It's
know.
not a
It's
blanket
not-
statement.
It's not that.
We're talking about what it wasn't, Mike.
Yeah.
Fart in Your Fedora was an actual ska band. I'm sure of it. My second Moke pick is Arlo McKinney with the album This Mess We're In. Very like melancholy folk, lots of soul. This guy started singing in a Baptist church when he was 8 years old. And I think that sound actually kind of shines through on this record. It's definitely country referenced. It's like good feeling down music, like feel good to feel down kind of music. This record was written on the heels of his mom dying and his two friends losing their battle to addiction. So if that doesn't sound heavy enough for you, I don't know what will. Really good record, though.
No fart in your fedora.
No, definitely not.
That's cool that you like that one. That's one of my ones that I believe I talked about this last Friday when I just picked it up based on how the album art looked when I was going through Apple Music that day.
Yeah,
I really like it.
It's a cool record. Good pick, Mike. My next Mike Moke pick is a Montreal band. According to their Bandcamp, it features members of Good Riddance. I don't think I've listened to it enough to pull that yet. I fully admit that I judged this book by its cover. The cover art is that kind of new school kind of artwork, super punchy, super vibrant, saturated colors. And I kind of expected it to sound like it looked, but it's anything but that. Like just really good skate punk, really layered, feels nostalgic, has that like late 90s feel, but like more current, great hooks, fast, aggressive, angsty. The band is 22. The album's Dismissed.
So Nathan,
Yeah.
I don't want to be a jerk, but I think 22 was on our comp that we put out back in the day.
Really?
I can't remember now, or they were definitely on Lame Ass Records.
Wow.
I feel like 22 is on the comp. I definitely have. I mean, they're old. This is like this is their comeback album, and for some reason, yeah, like the two dudes from Good Riddance are in it now, or just helped record the album. I know the guy helped record the album, and I think they're on a bunch of songs. But yeah, like they're from way back then, and
I figured they must have had some kind of reference from like they weren't a new band, but like it's got a new sound to it that has a nod of to nostalgia.
oh yeah, for sure. It's a pretty good album. That's gonna bother me. I feel like they're on our comp.
Well, you need to do some research.
I haven't listened to our comp in 10 years. So.
Maybe you should Bing it. Well, that's the thing, man. Like that thing's like 20 something years old.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember that. Come on, Mike.
You helped put the music out. You should know.
Sure.
It used to be called Catch 22 at one point too,
Oh, really?
but not the Catch 22.
But not Catch 22.
Yeah.
All right. Did they get a cease and desist as well from NAR?
Probably.
The NAR?
I feel like that.
My last choice is a band called Hellwigs, and the EP is Load the Spaceship. Mike, this is wrestle punk. That's the genre. Did you know that wrestle punk was a genre?
Well, it's funny because they're on my listen to list as well.
Perfect.
And I have my notes here saying, when did wrestling and punk become so intertwined? And why is there at least 3 wrestling themed punk bands I know of now, if not more?
This is wrestle punk, Mike. It's a genre. Mike will probably tell you this later, but I'll be the first. Their name comes from the Ultimate Warrior's Christian name, James Hellwig, which was obviously pre his name change to Warrior. Despite what a weirdo he is my favorite wrestler. Even through all the documentaries I've seen.
I was gonna say, I was like,
like
man, even after those documentaries, he was a horrible person.
You just got to look at him as the wrestler, Mike. Just the stage persona.
The stage persona was money.
Yeah. The name of the EP comes from the quote, and I quote, "Take the Intercontinental Belt back. Take it back to parts unknown. Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel. Load it with the words, because after SummerSlam, the belt will be mine."
Warrior did have good promos.
Amazing.
Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen him on Arsenio Hall?
Yes. It was terrifying.
It's amazing. And if you ever get a chance, I don't know if you know, can't think of the comedian's name now. The guy from How Did This Get Made? Anyway, he does a thing where he did a whole bunch of things dressed as Arsenio Hall and then just remade the clips. And one of the ones is the Ultimate Warrior one, and it's amazing. And Rob Hubel is the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, nice.
I'll find it and send it to you. It's money.
Okay. I go into an album like this kind of expecting a gimmick, and, I'll have a laugh at and I'll listen to once or twice and move on. But this album is full of Warrior style aggression. Like it's well-crafted songs with lots of energy. It clocks in at just under 10 minutes, and already I guess not an album, already an EP I've listened to a bunch of times. Like, I dig it. I think this is
so good.
This is one of the better gimmick albums.
I also like that they have a song called "Pay the Piper."
Was Roddy your favorite?
Roddy was my guy when I was a kid. Until Ultimate,
Okay.
I did like Ultimate Warrior a lot though too when he came in.
Yeah. What have you been listening to, Moke?
A band called Homefront, who are from Edmonton, and I started seeing some stuff because I think they played Sled Island, and people were just pretty stoked to see them. And I found out they were from Edmonton, and that they're 2 members, and they released the EP last year. I kept reading so many good things I had to check it out, and it's so good. It's like everything good about Joy Division and The Cure, and it's like, so it's like punky enough to feel raw, but synthy enough to give it a little bit of pop sensibility. And like, seriously, if somebody told me that album was recorded in the 80s, I would have never even questioned it. It's just like, it sounds like right out of that era. Like, it doesn't sound, but not like copycat or like cheesy or like, we're doing this to be cool. It sounds like just like a good album from that era.
Yeah.
So get a chance to pick that up, I would pick it up. Also, I think they're playing here in September, so I might get off my butt and go see them. Don't make that face. 2 shows in September, and that'll be a record.
I'll believe it when I see it.
All right.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Okay. Next one is a band from High River, which is just a small town outside of Calgary. I mean, it's close enough to Calgary that I would call it almost Calgary. Like when I was a kid, that was my home hockey rink, so it's not that far away. But it's still a small town. If you've ever seen Fubar, there's a scene when they go to High River. So that's all you need to know about High River. Anyway, the band is Mixed Blame. They're a bunch of teenage kids. I think they got to be like 16, 17 at most. And I don't think they're playing bar shows yet. I think they're still trying to do all ages shows, which is cool because since I started following them, I'm starting to see that kids do still put on all ages shows, because I always wondered, you just don't see posters around anymore. And I guess I'm assuming it's all done on the internet, but it'd be weird if I followed a bunch of like 15-year-old kids on the internet. So,
yeah, don't do that, Mike. Yeah. Don't do that.
Anyway, the album was recorded by Casey Lewis, who, if you're in Calgary, you would know as the drummer of Belvedere. And has a little throwback to 90s alternative and punk music. And one of the tracks has guest vocals with KJ from Chicks Dig It. So just all around Calgary punk rock clout there. So
is it a full Alberta list, Mike? Are you moving us towards a full Alberta, what I've been listening to list?
No, because Hellwigs are from the UK.
Well, I know that, but I thought maybe your third pick would have been another Alberta band. Maybe Hellwigs was the wild card.
Nope. Sorry. I don't like Alberta. I don't like Alberta that much.
Wow.
There's next band, Onslow, and they're self-titled. And Onslow, I believe, is from Norway, so not Alberta. I came across this because of a listener list from our last episode. So thanks to Justin from Punk Lotto Pod for tipping me off on this band. They have a really throwback sound to like indie 90s pop emo. They really remind me of a band called Sarge. I don't know. Did you ever listen to Sarge back then?
No.
They're a band I was like in love with, and one of those bands I could never find the actual album in Calgary. I had heard them on a couple comps, and then finally it was like on Bandcamp or maybe even YouTube like years later, and I love that band so much. Anyway, Onslow really reminds me of that, and I know I've seen a lot of journalists compare them to Tiger's Jaw or Paramore, which I think is just like the new version of being a lazy music journalist and being like, oh, there's a girl singer and they play punk. They must sound like Paramore or Avril Lavigne or
right.
Like it. I assume it's what it was like when bands would be like, oh, they've got a girl singer. They're like No Doubt.
Right.
Before, but anyway, they don't sound like either of those bands to me. Not that it's a knock to sound like those bands. They're good bands, but to me, it's got more of a 90s ilk to it. And I'd recommend checking it out.
Should we go into the list, Mike?
Let's do it.
All right.
Do it for Warrior Nation.
I feel like this is either low-hanging fruit or it's one of your picks down the line.
Wow.
And so I'm coming out of the gates with
Coming out hot, hey?
Yeah. I can see why somebody might make the argument that this is low-hanging fruit, but I can also see somebody not thinking of it at all. And we would be it would be a disservice to not mention this body of work within a podcast episode about singles. You know where I'm going with this, Mike?
I don't, and I'm very excited.
Well, this is a project by Tim Armstrong. It's the Time Bomb musical project.
Oh.
So this project was most noticeably released singles from October 2012 to October 2013. A release a day for a full year. Did not miss a day as far as I can tell. Throughout the 365 songs, there are covers of Rancid, there are covers of NoFX, there are covers of Hall & Oates, Jimmy Cliff, just to name a few. And there's also a bunch of originals on there. The body of work is super diverse, multi-genred, rock and roll, ska, ragtime, country, reggae, punk, doo-wop. Like, it just kind of goes all over the map. And for a guy who really didn't have to do it this way, like, not only is it a huge undertaking, but it's also got this really DIY aesthetic to it that runs right through it, right down to the artwork, where Tim, created a different piece of artwork for each and every single, which I think is pretty cool. So the song I chose is Dance, 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 which was released on July 3rd of 2013. It's a cover of Pearl McKinnon and the Deltars and the Kodaks. I just really like Tim's voice, as rough and tumble as it is, matched up with the beautiful female voices on this song. And I just really like the choices that Tim made along this journey. Like, there's a lot of songs and influence that I wouldn't have expected here from him. And I think it really gives you a look into the writer and musician that Tim Armstrong is. There were a couple of albums that came out of this project. So there's the Tim Time Bomb and Friends album. And then there were 3 additional releases that had 12 songs each from Pirates Press Records, and this song wasn't on any of them.
Wow.
True single, Mike. True single.
Well done. I didn't know there was one for every day of the year. That's insane.
It is insane.
Like, I have a handful of them, and I think I have a digital version of the album he released. I didn't know there was there was other albums done by Pirate Press. The majority of the covers and stuff I liked a lot. Like, there were cool takes on things.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I like that it doesn't sound like overproduced, and it's like a window into influences and stuff like that. And like,
yeah,
it did make me check out some of the originals and some of the tracks I had never heard before. So, yeah.
And it's got that lo-fi vibe to it, but it's produced really well. it feels like it's off the floor, but it's done in a way that doesn't sound like just kind of, well, we gotta do it. You know what I mean? Like it's done really well. And a lot of those songs, like especially those like kind of 30s and 40s ragtime feeling songs, like they feel like they could come right out of that time until Tim starts singing. And then you're like, oh, okay, well,
What was that word again?
Doesn't fit then. Yeah. That's kind of the beauty of this song that I chose too, is that the female voices echo his voice. So if you're having a hard time understanding what the words are, they fill you in right away.
Not to put you on the spot, but do you know who does the backups on it?
I don't.
No?
That much information I didn't. That was where I stopped, Mike. I had to draw a line.
I was curious. Just I know on some of them like that's the dudes from the Interrupters play the music, and the guy from the Agrolites, I believe, does some stuff. But I was just curious.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, Mike. I appreciate the challenge. I can't just feed everybody everything, you know? Sometimes they got to go source their own food.
Totally. So my first one's kind of low-hanging fruit as well. It's Against Me. The single is Russian Spies off the Russian Spies Occult Enemy single. Do you know this one, Nate, or no?
I mean, I'm really bad with song names.
Okay. It came out in June 2011 as a 7-inch. These were a couple of songs that were written right after White Crosses, and they had some time to record while they were in Wisconsin. So Laura Jane Grace called up, I can't think of the producer's name, and asked if they could record a couple of the new songs, and they did. They did that, and it was with, at the time, it was their first songs with their new drummer, who was Max Weinberg's kid, I think. Right? Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, Russian Spies is about an existential dread, oil spills, submarines, and the now distant memory of a red threat. Although I find that nowadays it might be coming back, this idea of a fear of other nations and whatnot. Maybe not so much a communist threat, but the same idea of a Cold War and not knowing what's going on.
Timely.
Laura Jane said of the song, "In this brave new world, sometimes I find myself longing for enemies so simple." So that's what this is about. It's a great track. If you like that era of Against Me, you will probably love it. That's all I have to say about that.
Let's wrap this up. Dance, 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 Tim Timebomb, and
Russian Spies, Against Me.
It's a Saturday night. My homework's done. My chores are done. And I wanna have, Saturday night. My homework's done. My chores are done. I wanna have fun. We're gonna put on our dancing shoes. We're gonna rock the blues. We're gonna dance. Well, I know a girl in the dancing machine. She hits around like a lover queen. We're gonna put on our dancing shoes. We're gonna rock the blues. We're gonna you should see her go. She really steals the show. A bad motorcycle when she gets on the floor. It's a Saturday night. My homework's through. My chores are done. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna put on our dancing shoes. We're gonna rock the blues. We're gonna Is it my don't scare me anymore. Russian spies, they 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 don't scare me anymore.
Mike, quick little story for you. And mostly because you brought up an Against Me song, but when I was in Portland recently, I went on vacation this year, as you might recall. It's nice to be able to get out into the world again and do vacations.
It is.
And so Adam Willard was drumming for the Bronx on this tour with Frank Turner that was doing 50 states in 50 days, which is absolutely absurd. He's only the third person to ever do it, first person from outside the United States to do it. And anyways, so was in Seattle, in Portland the next day. I'm looking through my feed that morning and I see Adam Willard posting saying, we just played Seattle last night. I was like, I was in Seattle last night. I didn't go to the show. I didn't know about it. And then he says, and we're playing Portland tonight. And I'm like, who's playing Portland tonight? I find out it's Frank Turner. It's the Bronx. It's Face to Face. Just like all the things lined up.
That's a great show.
That morning, we're walking around, this area in Portland, and we find the venue, like just walking past it. And as we're walking past, you see the big buses that are there. And I see Adam Willard like standing inside the bus looking at his phone. And being the guy that I am, I felt like I need to share this story with him. He wants to hear this story. Certainly he wants to hear it. And he saw me the first time I walked by, but then he continued to just look at his phone the entire time as the 40-year-old fanboy kept waving at him, trying to get his attention. That was it.
That's it.
That's my story, Mike.
Never meet your heroes.
Anyways, shall we do number 2?
We should.
My second pick comes from a band that released a single in February of 2020. The single is called Neapolitan. Neapolitan is the side B of a 2-song single. The band is called Romero. And this song found me like a year or so ago, and I instantly just wanted more. I kept my eyes open. Another single followed in November of that same year, and then it just went quiet. But like this single has just stuck with me. So today I'm kind of looking up to see, like, did they do anything else? Did anything else come of these singles? And I quickly found out that they put out their debut record earlier this year in April that will be on my player tomorrow. And I will have super high expectations because I've been building them.
It's a pretty good album
since then. Oh, you've heard it?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, nice. Pretty good. All right. Well, I don't know if that's going to live up to my high expectations.
Yeah.
Anyways, the single has like kind of a lo-fi vibe, has kind of a Strokes feeling to the song. It's a pop punk song. It has kind of that timeless sound, dancey, fun, just toe tapping music. And shout out Australia. They're from Melbourne.
I kind of feel like they have like a sounds feel to them, but not like as not as catchy as the sounds.
Yeah, kind of that genre.
Yeah. Cool work, Nate. Cool work. This is a single that came out this year, and it's probably been one of my favorite songs of the year, actually. It's Hot Mulligan, and the song is Drink, Milk, and Run.
Great choice.
I love it. I did see that they just released a second part to the single, which is like an acoustic version of it. And now when you look online, they're together, which is kind of weird. So I hope as of now, it's not on any albums or anything. The video is kind of cool. And the song is about how America doesn't care for the poor anymore, and the gap between rich and poor is getting bigger. And I would say that's something that most of us can relate to these days. I really love the line in there where it said, "Whoever said pull up yourself by the bootstraps is a fucking joke," because I fucking hate when I hear that. That's like one of the lamest things that like people say, that poor people just aren't working hard enough, or like, if you just work harder, you'll just get what you want. It's some fucking American dream bullshit that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe it existed in the 60s, but fuck it doesn't exist now. So stop saying it.
What if they updated it? What if it wasn't your bootstraps? What if it was your belt loops?
No, I firmly believe that it doesn't matter how hard you work. You're fucking stuck generally where you're stuck on the ladder.
I just thought maybe it was the bootstrap reference.
No, I'd like to see more people wear bootstraps. It's a sexy look. It's the kind of thing that turns me on, bootstraps, especially if they're pulled up.
We'll start calling you Bootstrap.
Yeah.
Hey, Bootstrap.
I love it.
Come on, Bootstrap.
It sounds like a 1940s nickname. Hey, Bootstrap. You don't want to mess with Bootstrap over there.
No, that guy sounds dangerous.
Yeah,
he sounds super dangerous.
Or super fun.
I think both. Like, I think Bootstrap's fun until he gets dangerous, right? And we all know how that happens.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with him.
He's pulling himself up, right?
Yeah.
Romero, side B of the 2-song single Honey, with the song Neapolitan and
Hot Mulligan, Drink Milk and Run.
joke. You're not in control. No one expects any good. Feel I'm already a ghost. Stay awake for nothing now. Not rich enough to make a sound. Burning inside of my home. Dying at 30 years old. Stay awake for nothing now. Not rich enough to fix myself. For anything else. Speaking low to what I'm told. There's still 10 boots with broken toes. So it's not just a little different. To one fucker of any joke. You're not in control. Someone expects any good. Feel I'm already a ghost. Stay awake for nothing now. Not rich enough to make a sound. Burning inside of my home. Dying at 30 years old. Stay awake for nothing now. Not rich enough to stick around.
My next song oozes summer vibes, Mike. So I know you're going to love it.
I do like a good
This
summer
actu-
jam.
Yeah, as he says, yawning.
It's late.
Come on, Mike, stay with me. We got a couple more to go.
I can do this. I can do this.
You can do it. You can do it. This one came out. This is a true single as well. And I hope this one doesn't find its way onto an album because this is a cover. So it's not as obscure of a cover as the last one, but this one is a cover that you should recognize. And I think covers should only ever be singles. I don't think you should put a cover on your album.
Ooh.
Especially in today's landscape. Back in the day, fine. But like now that you have the ability to just release one-off songs, covers should only ever be singles.
I like that, Nate. I like that idea.
Thanks. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. I can hear the trolls already. But like, for the most part, let's leave covers as singles.
I'm down.
Can we agree?
I agree with
Can
you.
we agree to do that?
I agree with you, Nate. And that doesn't happen
All
too
right.
often.
No. So it must be good. If you like music, then you'll know who the original of this song is by. And then you'll know why I love this. If you've been listening to this podcast for more than one episode. Who thought that it was even possible to make this song more catchy and more fun? This is Fun, 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 a cover done by Millington back in June 25th of 2021. This one came out. You know what's weird about this song? And I don't think I realized it till I was listening to this version of it. That this song starts out the exact same as Johnny Be Good.
Really?
Yeah. And at first I thought it was just this cover, like they were doing like a nod to the time. And then I pulled up the Beach Boys song and no, they do it too. And it's like, it might be a slightly altered key, but like it's the exact same. Like it's that riff that Marty plays. Well, I mean, Marty plays the whole song, but you know what I mean, right? You know,
It's an oldie but a goodie.
that beginning riff. Yeah. Anyways, this cover is great. The harmonies are on. The horns add like a new dimension of happy to this song. The fast tempo change adds just another welcomed layer, and the artwork is hilarious and a kind nod to the original writers of this song. I mean, this song is so sweet it'll make your teeth hurt, but in a good way.
I really like Millington. Like,
Do ya?
yeah, I enjoy them quite a bit.
They're a single heavy band, I think. Lots of singles out. I like that. I like the singles. Do the singles.
Yeah, that works.
How many albums do you think they have? 1, 2? I think
Well,
one.
they have that Brassington emo one.
But that's an EP.
That's an EP,
right?
And then I don't know if
Yeah.
they actually have a full length. Do they?
I think there's one. I think there's one, and then a lot of singles.
Lots of singles, yeah. Lots of covers. Works.
So there you go.
So I'm going to stick with the summer theme because this band's kind
Great.
of summery. The band is Isotopes.
Nice.
The single is The Invisible Hand of the MLB is Meddling. This is also just a standalone single. Came out in 2020, and as far as I know, only digitally. I'm sure if it's not, someone's going to correct me. This appears to be the last thing the Isotopes have done in a long time. I did get an email from them saying that they're trying to buy back their rights to their albums and maybe put something else out, but I don't know if anybody knows much about it. Also, this track would have been solid for our conspiracy episode. So, yeah, love the Isotopes. If you like them, you'll probably like the song. That's all I have to say about that.
Tell me a little more about the song, Mike.
What would you like to?
Take me through the conspiracy of the song.
It's just a conspiracy about the MLB.
That's
Yeah.
it? That's all you
Yeah.
got? Oh. I was hoping for more.
Sorry, Nate. It's no Valiant Thor.
When you said Isotopes, I thought, oh, this is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays song,
Also,
which is also a great song.
Also, their cover of is it Centerfold that they do a cover of? They do a really good cover as well. That's just a single. I can't remember it now.
Covers as singles.
Yep.
It's a great thought. Let's make it happen, guys. Let's.
Love the Isotopes. Love the song. Love your mustache.
Millington, fun. And
Isotopes, the invisible hand of the MLB is meddling.
Forgot all about the library like she told her old man now.
are you doing just standalone singles? Was that the plan, or is that just how it developed? Or
that was sort of my plan within the parameters we talked about, like 2-song max release.
All right. And did you keep it going?
Yeah, I did.
The whole way through?
As far as I know.
I didn't. My next one is my next one's a song that landed itself on an album.
I like that you set that whole conversation up just so you could drop that tasty bit of information.
Yeah. That's the mark of a good storyteller, Mike.
You are a pro.
I wear the mark. I wear the mark of a good storyteller. Come hither by the fire and let me tell thee a story.
This is why we're called the Erotic Adventures of Mike and Nate.
Only in your mind.
One day.
So my next choice is this is a song that caught my ear and it just wouldn't let it go. It grabbed it and it kept yelling this song in it over and over again. It came out in 2020 and then later appeared on the full-length album Fuck Art, which came out in 2021. The single for this, the hype song for this, is Done With Drugs by the band The Dirty Nil. I think we talked about this song before. I love this song. This single gave me unrealistic expectations for this album because I just loved it so much.
This song's awesome.
It is a great song. I love everything from the opening riff to the last note. A big departure from their earlier releases. I mean, this is much poppier, but it's just so catchy. So I originally thought it was an autobiographical statement by the singer or songwriter talking about, that they were done with drugs. You get to that age in life and you decide maybe drugs isn't the right choice anymore. But it's not. It's actually more of a commentary of the narcissism of social media. People that make huge kind of pledges or commitments to their followers on social media. And that's what this song's about. And that is what makes me like it even more.
Maybe that's what I got in trouble for with the Come Get Gnarly with me. Everyone knows I really don't want to get gnarly, but I made giant claims on social media.
Not just a claim, but like a 6-paragraph claim about how gnarly you are.
Yeah, I'm pretty gnarly.
You're not.
I am.
I mean, you're moderately gnarly, but like not to the tune of a 6-paragraph pledge.
I'm gnarlier than Gnarls Barkley.
It's a great name, Gnarls Barkley. I had no idea till just recently that Danger Mouse was part of Gnarls Barkley.
That Gnarls Barkley album's awesome.
Elsewhere? Saint Elsewhere? Is that the one you're talking about?
Is there more than one?
Yeah, I think there's a couple.
Yeah, I can't remember. I liked one of them.
It's a great name. Danger Mouse and CeeLo Green. I mean, what more can you ask for?
CeeLo Green.
He was the other half of Gnarls Barkley.
I understand this. Yeah.
I understand. It's off-brand. You don't know what to do. I understand too. We're understanding each other.
Yeah.
It's getting late. You're tired. We need to wrap this thing up.
No, we're not wrapping it up. We got 2 songs each left.
Well, I've already done mine.
Okay.
So we have how many would that be? 3 total.
I quit.
That'd be great though to get that on the recording.
You want to
and
throw
that's
that in my
it.
face?
That's the end of it.
That's the end of the podcast. I quit.
We just never have another episode.
No, this is how it ends. My song is the new Jimmy Eat World song.
Oh wow! That's a surprise.
It's a phenomenal single. It's called.
I'm not saying it's not.
It's called Something Loud. It came out this June. It's a total throwback to Bleed American era Jimmy Eat World. It was produced by the band themselves, and it's the first since Bleed American where the band had no label behind them. So they decided to record the song for the tour, to hype their tour. And I think it might actually be their best song in ages. And I'm a huge fan. Like, there's not too much Jimmy Eat World I don't love, but this is so good. And I'm really hoping they follow it up with an album in this style again. It just feels so good. I know that I read somewhere that they wrote it kind of seeing when that whatever that tour in that show in Las Vegas is with all the emo bands and they were they said they wrote it kind of about the nostalgia of like wanting to play still, and that's what this is about. It's a great song. I mean, it's Jimmy Eat World doesn't mess up too much, so they don't put out a lot of singles either. I don't think they have a couple EPs maybe, but
I feel like they're a hype single band.
Oh yeah. I mean, they had major labels behind them for most of their releases, right? So that's some of it too. Anyway, Something Loud's the song, really good. Check it out.
Is this off and upcoming? Do you know if there's an album on the way?
As far as I know, I haven't read anything about an album. They said they put it out for the tour.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, that's what I did. If you listen to what I was saying.
I listened. I just thought I'd dig a little deeper, Mike, you know?
Well, why are you trying to dig into something? Why are you causing problems when you're just causing problems?
It's not causing problems. It's called conversation.
Just nitpicking at me, hey?
You
want to see what kind of lack of research I did? Is that what this is?
No, this is an opportunity to find out more.
No, I in the interview they didn't say anything about any albums or anything.
All right.
But I would assume they have an album coming, and I would assume this ends up on it at some point. But until then, it's a standalone single, so it falls well within my parameters.
I'm not going to ask you any more questions.
No, you keep asking.
Worry.
You keep asking.
No, there's no more questions. No, not one more question. The Dirty Nail done with drugs and
Jimmy Eat World, Something Loud.
Clean.
So this is the time where I say thanks to everyone who's kept up with us and who is listening, and to the list contributors, to the WhatsApp chat people, to Nate for putting up with me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and you might want to check out some of our older ones if you're new. Hope to maybe get some killer lists for this one, because there's a lot of leeway here, so we could get some pretty cool lists. Always great to get them. You can check us out on Instagram at High Fives Podcast, or via our website, highfives.ca, or just Bing us. Yeah, you might want to get gnarly with us. That's our motto, right? We've well established that our motto is "Come get gnarly with us."
Mike,
I like to poke the
poking
bear.
that bear with a stick.
Oh yeah, this bear is getting poked.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And for anybody thinking about putting a list together, we're very specific about, or we've been very specific about what constitutes a single. But if you feel it constitutes a single, put it on your list. Let's just share. Let's enjoy music.
Behind your back,
All the
we will
good
laugh.
things.
But
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Number 5. I don't have a lot to say about my 5th pick, Mike. This is going to go real quick. This one came out this year. I don't think I've picked one from 2022 quite yet. So this one comes out from 2022. I don't know if there's an album coming. This is not a band I listen to a lot of or I know a lot about. And every time I hear this song come on, I think it's Frenzal Rhomb for about the first 20 seconds. And then I realize, oh, it's not. It's actually The Decline. And the song is Kenneth. I think I love this song because I love the name. Kenneth is just such a great name for a song. I don't know. Maybe I think it's Frenzal because they're both from Australia. That could be part of it. Shout out Australia.
it is a very fat kind of punk rock sound to it too.
Yeah. Super catchy though. And according to the Bandcamp, this song is a tale of responsible sailboat ownership and getting ripped off by insurance companies.
I feel like this is a very personal story.
So think about that while you're listening to this song. This is simply a song I've gone back to many times this year, and the ending cracks me up every single time. I'll let you discover that for yourself if you're hearing this song for the first time. The Decline with Kenneth. Do you listen to The Decline? Is that a band you know and like?
You know what? I know them. I don't know if I've listened to a ton of them, but what I've heard I've liked. I will definitely have to check this song out again. I kind of just remember it on my radar a little bit, but it didn't stick. So usually when you pick a song on our podcast that I thought I listened to and I hear it again, I end up liking it a lot more. So
oh wow, you need my seal of approval before you can get into it.
No, it's just more like
That's what it sounds like.
No, it sounds
Mike.
like you just remind me, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I should check that out. It's not like it could be anybody really. If we had a robot,
But it's not.
If I had a
It's
robot
not
here, no difference.
It's not anybody. It's me.
It could be Yoda. It could be Bart Simpson. It could be somebody else.
Speaking of Bart Simpson, the woman that does the voice for Bart Simpson, she drives me absolutely crazy.
Well, she is a little bit cuckoo.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, she's one of those people that, once I saw on social media, I was just like, oh.
She's a Scientologist, like a hardcore Scientologist.
Oh, that says everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's enough said.
So we might have alienated our one Scientologist. Our one Scientologist. I do like our Scientologist followers, but not our Scientologist followers.
Isn't that the leader? Isn't his name Ron?
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron. Right. L. Ron. I call him Ron. His followers call him L. Ron. I always think it's funny when you get a name like Ron or Joe as like the leader, the guy who created,
it's Gary,
this thing that everyone follows.
Leader Gary.
Yeah, like it just doesn't add up. And I mean, why shouldn't it? Right? Like it should just be an average guy like Gary or Ron or Joe, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with
I know
this,
what you're
Mike.
I know what you're trying to say here, but we're not going to try to solve the cult problem or religious problems here.
No, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to talk about singles.
We already are trying to solve insurance problems with sailboats.
We're not trying to solve them. We're just trying to point to the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike?
Well, Nathan, my last song is a cover. So here's a story on it. It's a Spotify single, which pains me to say.
I don't understand. So it's exclusive to Spotify?
It's exclusive to Spotify.
All right.
It's a pain if you don't use Spotify.
So let me rant again for a moment here. This idea of like not all the things being on all platforms drives me nuts. Let's just get it on all the platforms. Let's not have exclusivity to one platform over the other. Right? Like, can we agree on that? We've already agreed that only like covers are only going to be singles. We've already done that. That's already put in the books. It's in stone. So let's move on from that and let's all decide there's not going to be streaming platform exclusivity. Can we do that too?
I think that's a harder one to pull, but I agree with you.
Is it?
For example, on these Spotify singles, if you're Spotify and people want to listen to it, then you have to listen to Spotify, which means they can sell ads and whatnot. So if you're someone like me who doesn't use Spotify, it sucks, but I see why Spotify does it. And every once in a while, these Spotify tracks make me jealous that I don't use Spotify. This one is a Phoebe Bridgers song from her second Spotify singles, and it's a cover of a John Prine song called Summer's End. The original song's amazing, but Phoebe does it justice, and it's almost, I would say it's better than John Prine's version, which is a tall order. The original came out on his album Tree of Forgiveness, which was sadly his last one. The whole album's like a classic album, but this track always stood out to me, and the video really brought to light the opioid crisis at the time, and which continues to exist and probably is worse than it was even at that time. But the song highlights that a little bit. Phoebe's cover came out in 2021. She did a live stream of the song shortly after John Prine's death from COVID. But then this was put on to the Spotify single album as there was a precursor to people that were nominated for Grammys, I believe. And she did two songs, one of them being this cover. She added a voicemail with her, I believe it's her dad, calling her, wishing her happy birthday, and apparently her dad and her are very strained. So it just kind of adds to the sad element of the song and makes it even a little bit more reflective. Anyway, you should check it out on our podcast or on Spotify, I guess, if you have to, or find another way. It's on YouTube. Do you like John Prine?
I'm not a big John Prine fan, but it's interesting that you bring up John Prine because Arlo, the gentleman we spoke of in the beginning of this show, is signed to John Prine's like kind of side record company.
Oh, I didn't even know he had one.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And he, I guess John Prine actually came and saw a show of his and told him after the show, like, I'm a big fan.
Oh, that's awesome. That would be so cool to hear from like somebody with
like your hero,
like to hear that from like someone with like some major clout in music. Like, I don't know if John Prine was ever like crazy wealthy, but he kind of has this like clout amongst musicians, right? That he's somebody important.
Totally.
Or was, I guess.
That would be like if Adam Willard like looked up from his phone and waved back at me from the bus.
Full circle.
Right? Like that would be the equivalent.
For sure. That's totally the equivalent.
Mike, it's The Decline and Kenneth and
Phoebe Bridgers, Summer's End. Thank you for listening. Stay cool, be excellent to each other, and if you feel like it, come get gnarly with us.
I'm a little bit afraid of you, dude, and I'm a little bit afraid of what you'll do without him. appropriate pet ownership. An invitation to go out in your boat. Are we gonna find out if I can float? Kenneth, I don't know, you're not the enemy. You're just a man acting neighborly, overly. Kenneth. Sugar at the neighbor's place. And Kenneth, let my son go home. I don't know if this is responsible pet ownership, and I don't know if this is appropriate pet ownership. An invitation to go out in your boat. Are we gonna find out if I can float? Kenneth.
Kevin.
Hey, Phoebe, this is Papa. I missed your birthday yesterday. I'm sorry. Chris was supposed to remind me, but we got too busy working and everything. But I remembered today. So happy birthday, and I love you. Give me a call. Okay. Love everybody. Bye.
Summer's ends around the bend, just flying. Swimming suits are on the line, just drying. I'll meet you there per our conversation. Hope I didn't ruin your whole vacation. You never know how far from home you're feeling until you watch the shadows cross the ceiling. I don't know, but I can see it snowing. In your car, the windows are wide open. Come on home. Come on home. You don't have to be alone. Just come on home. Valentine's breaks hearts and minds at random. That old Easter egg ain't got a leg to stand on. Well, I can see that you can't win for trying. And New Year's Eve is bound to leave you crying. Come on home. Come on home. You don't have to be alone. Just come on home. The moon and stars hang out in bars just talking. I still love that picture of us walking, just like that old house we thought was haunted. Summer's end came faster than we wanted. Come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Please come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Come on home.
Oh fuck! I just pulled a muscle. That's your fucking. That's your. Oh fuck!
That was weird.
There's your. Oh.
This is happening live. Mike pulled a muscle and he's losing it.
There's your.
I know you're in pain, dude, but I gotta let the people know what's happening.
There's your highlight reel or your joke thing. Ouch!
It's not a joke. I can tell it's not a joke.
Fucking groin.
Oh, in your groin too?
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Is it in your pee hole?
No,
is it in your
groin
urethra?
Your groin isn't your penis.
I know what a groin is, Mike.
I don't think you do.
I just wanted you to say penis.
You just want to growing up you. I don't know. Ouch.
Are you all good? How did you pull your groin? You're just sitting there.
Probably just stiff from soccer, and then I was sitting.
Sorry, your groin is stiff. Okay. Yeah, your groin's not your penis, but it's stiff. Mike, come on back.
Okay, what were we talking about before I withered away in pain? Oh, fuck, that really hurts.